Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Chris from Practical Worship Leading. I've been having some conversations with a few guys that I've been trying to sort of mentor or at least share my crazy thoughts with. And one of the exercises that I've been encouraging them to try is a thing I've started calling the one-man band. And it's basically mostly talking about faster songs when you are by yourself. So it's meant to be a full band song, probably a rock song, kind of more upbeat maybe or fuller, and figuring out how to still have dynamics and different sections of the song when it's just you and a guitar, for instance. And that's kind of a strange place. We realize you don't really hear that a lot on recordings because if it's a full band song, they have a full band, or it's a quiet one guy in an acoustic song. But there's so many times as worship leaders when we are just by ourselves. We don't have anybody else playing with us, and we'd still like to kind of delve into faster songs or more rockin' type of songs, for lack of a better word. And so here's some of the techniques I do. This is going to be really rough, just blowing through this, but I'm going to go with an oldie goldie, Blessed Be Your Name, and I'll try to just kind of play it and then talk you through some of the things I'm doing, and hopefully some of it will be helpful. If not, you can always turn off the video. Go find something more fun to watch. So I'm just going to play through verse, chorus, and bridge, and then I'll try to talk through some of the things I'm doing. And I'm actually going to focus on my left hand because I think some of the rhythmic stuff is actually often happening as much on this hand, or sometimes even more on this hand than with my right hand. And so that's something not everybody really thinks about, I don't think. So you can watch both hands, hopefully, in this wide-angle camera. But here you go. Blessed be your name, with no warm-up or practice.
Turn back to praise when the darkness closes in, Lord. Still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be the glorious name. Take away, you give and take away. My heart will choose to say that blessed be your name. God, you give and take away, you give and take away. But my heart will choose to say, blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be the glorious name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be the glorious name. Every blessing you pour out, I turn back to praise. darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be your name.
Cool. So that's just kind of a quick, snippet of the song. The first thing I'd say is, for one thing, arrangement-wise, on that first chorus, I probably wouldn't go loud. I like to build up to it and then ring it out.
Blessed be the name of the Lord.
But for now, I just wanted to show you kind of, single strums are easy, right? Holding that out is easy. So I'm going to show you kind of other stuff. So that's why I arranged it that way. So let's go with the verse first, or the intro and the verse. That's using a thing I call palm muting. I don't know if there's a better technical term, but you're basically using the side of your palm on the bridge of the guitar, and so you're creating this nice muted sound. So that's what I was doing there. I'll show you kind of slowly what I'm doing. It's like, see there's this kind of up picking thing I'm doing, and then I'm also using my left hand to mute every once in a while. You can see that happening. So my right hand is keeping that palm muted, so it's not an open sound. It's like that, and then together I'm making a rhythmic pattern between picking up with my right hand and muting with my left. Or you can just go straight up, down, up, down, up, down on your right hand. That works too. So that gives you a nice kind of low place to start with, simple and quiet. And so in the next part, I think what I did was just opening it out. Like, don't feel like you always have to be having this constant strumming happening during the song. There's definitely parts where you can just let it ring.
Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise.
And then what I like to do is build into a certain part. Give people a place for their heart to go. They can follow. As you're leading worship, you want people to be able to kind of tell what's coming next, and to swell into things like that, so they can sing along and get where you're trying to lead them. So
when the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name.
So a couple things there. At some point, I actually, this time through at least, I went to just down strums. That's an electric guitar kind of thing we do a lot with rhythm electric. So you can do that. You don't always have to be up, down, up, down, up, down. When you're getting into a really big swell, you can.
Still I will say, blessed be the name.
And then I pop into it with my left hand. I mute into it.
Blessed be the name.
And land. See that?
Still I will say, blessed be the name.
So that's a big thing, learning to use your left hand to stop the strings. And I've started calling that the snare stop, because what I realize is when I'm really getting into it, trying to be tight with what a drummer would be doing, or just trying to get that same kind of a feel as if I had a drummer, I'm actually muting when the snare hits. So if you're playing along with the band and trying to get used to this or figure out the pattern to do, you're really going to be stopping on snare hits. So like, let's go to the chorus, for instance.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name.
So you can see my patterns like this. So that's kind of on the snare hits if you were playing with a drum. Something like that. Of course, they could play different stuff too, but that's the beat I'm playing to right now. So getting used to your left hand stopping those strings. I'll try a slow version so you can see what I'm doing. My right hand's really just up, down, but my left hand is making it sound completely different, right? So there's my right hand. that's all I'm doing in my right hand, and my left hand's doing all the work. Another thing that I think I'll just mention is I'm not trying to play all the strings all the time. It's okay to be on the bottom strings only. And then you can like ring out the top string. So like when I'm on that G, I'm on the low strings. Then when I get to the D, obviously most of my chord shape is up here. Then I switch up to the top strings, and then I'm back to the E minor, and the bass note's down here. There's a little hammer on I'm doing. But that just adds so much energy. It gives you so many more places to go. So that's a great thing to practice, I think, is using your left hand to stop. And it doesn't have to be every snare hit, but in general, that's kind of the rule of thumb. So then I went on to the bridge. And you know, depending on your arrangement of the song, sometimes you go louder on the bridge, sometimes you go softer. I kind of went softer, and what I went into there is
you give and take away.
So I'm kind of plucking that bass note, and then I'm just kind of rotating around on these top strings. So that gives it a nice. There's still something happening. There's still something to follow rhythmically. But it's not full. It's kind of nice and airy. So
you give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name.
So again, I'm hitting those bottom strings and then coming up right away. So building up from there, so I try to find these sections and build and layers, right? So the first part of the bridge, I'm bringing real low so that I have places to go. And the next, I try to add in like, I think I went to kind of a chunking thing, electric thing.
You give and take away.
So you can either do that where I'm going down and then popping it back up, or you really could just do it straight down only, down, 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 down.
You give and
with your palm muting, of course.
Give and take away. You give and take away.
But you can start building that in volume-wide.
Used to say, but blessed be your name. Blessed be the name.
So there's that snare hit again, chop it off. So that's a really simple one, is just learning the palm muting. You got to find the right place here to mute just right. I basically am on the that bottom bridge pin, and just finding that I'm still letting it ring a little bit, so I'm not just going like this, right? I'm not all the way over. I'm letting it ring out, but that's called palm muting, so you hear that distinctive kind of chunking sound. Electric guitarists call it chunking sometimes. So the more advanced version of that is, again, using your left hand to stop on the snare hit kind of places. So it'd be like,
you give and take away. It's give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name.
so yeah, there's another one. I like to add some even more stopping. So those are hopefully a couple of little clues you can use, little tools you can add to your tool belt. let me know if you have any questions. Love to help you out on that.